Forgot again. Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... You know, something that happens on Gacha Review quite frequently is that we get to talking about certain things, about certain videos, which definitely have a certain following to them. And those certain people leave certain comments, most of which are overwhelmingly positive in nature. And a lot of the time, you don't really get the sense that the video has ever been criticized or scrutinized to the same level as Gacha Review, and therefore they have an overwhelming, positive reception, even though potentially some of those comments might have been hidden. We don't actually know the true extent. That's never really apparent, unfortunately. With that in mind, today we might be dealing with the exact opposite situation, where a series by a creator that, as of the time of this video, has 8 subscribers, has received seemingly nothing but overwhelming hatred. Well, okay, not nothing. There have been a couple of supportive comments here and there trying to defend this individual, but it just seems to have been the case that two of the videos on the channel right now have no comments on them. I can only assume because they've been deleted, because the other one has basically this, which surprisingly has no swear words in them, but it definitely does show. I mean, you've got some of the comments saying, why the heck are people hating on this? But then the rest of it definitely it's not the usual Gacha comment section, you would say. And there are more. They just didn't fit into this first bit here. Now, one thing that actually amused me ever so slightly about this situation is that you see these 2 replies on these last 2 comments. Somebody just responded to both of these going, wow, homophobia. So shout out to Octavia Lover for fighting the good fight in this sense. But yeah, that was I don't know. That's what I got told. So this was sent to me by Ghosty. Sorry, the mental fortitude of giving Ghosty credit for something, it's just overwhelming. No, but seriously, Ghosty sent me this a while ago, a few hours ago, and said, "Hey, this small creator is getting harassment. Shall we send them some positivity?" To which I probably thought, Gacha View is not normally the place that ends up doing that, just by the nature of what we do. But I'm again, I don't want to say I'm confident in a video to begin with, because every time I do that, it always ends up cursing the video itself. But we do have Ghosty here, so potentially maybe she could offer a little bit more input in that regard.
Okay, so I was cycling through some Michaela Plays style Gacha trash until this popped up in my recommendeds, and I thought, oh, another LGBT Gacha. Oh no.
Apparently, the comments section also thought exactly that, but for different reasons.
So I clicked on the second video because it's what seemed to be the most popular, and I scrolled down just a little bit, and oh god, my eyes. So
you
much.
You say the most popular? Wait, what do you mean? Like, from what I can tell from this channel, it's it is like less than a month old. In fact, it's only a couple of weeks old. And you said that like, and the videos themselves have one of them has 2 videos because it was like 4 hours ago, but the other 2 have like hundreds, but like within like 100 and something.
I know, but this one is the most popular and this one is the most popular, meaning as in it has the most interaction on it.
Okay.
I thought it would usually be oh, this is so great, this is so progressive. But no, it's quite the opposite. In fact, it's a bunch of Russians raging about LGBT.
Yeah, for a channel with 8 subscribers, you don't normally expect 13 comments. And if you do receive 13 comments with 8 subscribers, usually you're over the moon about that. Trust me, when I had 8 subscribers, that's exactly what I would have thought of at the time. But
I
yeah,
saw this video and immediately felt so upset for the creators, so I brought it to Jacob's attention.
Yeah, that's why we're not doing Bunny Wunny Tales today. I thought, yeah, well, we can definitely push that back by another day, and hopefully the content starved Alpha Sisters fan base will understand that. I'm sure they will. They probably will. But yes, the video in question is called "In Love with My Best Friend" Part 1, because I had to take that out because YouTube didn't let me put the whole title on. I thought it was important to change it for this one. But yes, that is the name of the series, because there are 3 parts of this. The channel only has those 3 videos uploaded currently, but it's very much seems like a story of a classic GotchTuber who is starting out with one particular series and will eventually most likely branch out to some other stuff if they don't get bullied off the platform first, which we are here today to prevent. So with that in mind, let's proceed to defend this person by breaking down their earliest work, as we normally do on this channel. So I guess without further ado, on with the review. Okay.
Guys, get up.
First of all, I see we're using well, it said GLMM in the title, but yeah, we're using the animated poses in Gacha Life. Very interesting. We're going back again. Normally, with that's a cause for concern when someone goes back to Gacha Life in the in the year of our Lord 2025. But
like normally, I'd raise an eyebrow at it, but they probably wanted to utilize the animated poses. Which I think is the only plus side of using Gacha, the original Gacha Life in the year post-pandemic 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the thing that I miss the most about making Gacha in general. I do like these designs. That is true. We didn't see we barely got to see one of the designs because it was on screen for only a single frame. But hey, establishing shots also. That's worth pointing out. Okay, here we go. So this is the other design, I assume, for Rose. And so yeah.
I'm guessing that this is Rose in her PJs.
Oh yeah.
Any character in their PJs is a cute look. Not gonna lie.
And any character that has stars on their pants is normally in PJs at the time. A shade of yellow that the man is wearing. Oh, okay, we'll get to that in a second. Yeah.
Well, Wonder, what are you doing here?
This was the future. That's her and Malrick's kid.
Wait, this is her and Malrick's kid. That kind of makes sense because of the eyes, except for the fact that pupils are not gone. Rose, get up!
Well, okay, so we're definitely getting a very classic setup to begin with. You know, I've seen this 5 more minutes thing a lot since Phoenix Drop High came out in 2016, but there you go.
Obviously, we found another Aphmau fan in the wild, clearly a younger one at that.
Potentially, yeah.
It's 7:30, you'll be late.
I like the way that she stands up in the bed just being like, "Egads! I must get to school immediately!" I couldn't frame myself properly. I'm too tall. Boom! I shall go to school! There we go. There we go.
The hand on the hips is crazy.
That's what I was saying. Look at that. I've never seen that pose being used before, so that's potentially why. I get the impression it was intended to be used as like a proposal pose, a proposal, if you will, where you like someone's like fishing for the ring and then they pull it out and that's the one next to it. But I don't know.
Oh, I do like.
Oh, hey, we cut away before the character got changed. That's new.
That was actually kind of a good cutaway. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Again, we've got a chance to focus. Okay. Probably, honestly, prefer the PJ's look, but, you know, this is fair enough.
Wait, I made you lunch.
Yep. Okay.
And she's gone again. Girl.
You forgot to put the toast in your mouth when you're running to the school because you're late now. I mean, if you're going to take the bento box, might as well do one Japanese cliche.
We're going to do one Japanese cliche, at least two.
Also, you said that looked like Franken-posing. If it is Franken-posing, it's definitely a strange choice to Franken-pose specifically that pose. Also, given the fact that the establishing shots don't move, nor do the characters seem to. Oh wait, actually, I was gonna say that this person probably doesn't know too much about post-production, but actually they know about keyframes because we just saw them running through in a smooth cycle, the likes of which I have not seen since the last person who used that in Gacha Life. So yeah. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of post-production knowledge going on. So we're not so potentially, I don't know, but potentially you're not a complete newbie.
Potentially.
Then again, maybe they are a complete newbie because they're just more adept at adapting the stuff than I was when I started and did all this stuff. Oh, okay, I guess there was just one guy standing outside. That's the bad boy for later. Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
And yet, of course, because it's Gacha Life, we have the issue with the appearing chairs, which is, you know, a thing in every single one.
We have the issue with the appearing chairs, and we also have the teaser.
Okay. Also, apparently that is custom made. Well, so since that's the image, but wait, check under the solid poses. I don't remember her moving in that one. Check out on other normal poses if you're looking for it.
Like, I think there was always proposal poses in probably Gacha Life.
Yeah. In fact, now I think about it, in Gacha Life, I don't remember there being animated kneeling poses because I think whenever I did do like kneeling poses, I always had like it was always like a frame or two. She was moving in that one apparently. Okay, fair. Well, all right then. I would scroll back and check, but we are harping on this point a lot, so we're gonna move on now.
Have I slept again?
Yes.
need to stop your late night binges.
Oh, there you go. It wasn't AFMA, it was Terror.
When you have a binge eating disorder. Me with a binge eating disorder.
I think the implication is more binge watching than binge eating.
It could be either.
It could be either, but I'm going to theorize that it was binge watching. There we go. I have so much TV to watch.
We also have the teacher just standing, saying nothing. The teacher kind of looks like Chuck Norris. This
all right, then. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll do it at a better time. I'm a busy girl.
You know what? I relate to this. Sometimes you can only catch up on 7 deadly sins when you happen to be eating dinner after you finish a stream that you do almost daily. It's just what happens sometimes. Just a random example.
Busy with what? Writing fan fiction?
I mean, also somewhat relatable.
Wait, I just thought of something. Could it be possible that they're using Gacha Life and Gacha Club
at the same time? It is definitely possible. It's strange that it wouldn't be in the title if that's the case, because normally if that happens, someone puts GLMM/GCMM in there, but we only saw GLMM.
Usually, but not always.
So yeah, maybe they just secretly using Gacha Club to spice up the Gacha Life and potentially hype up their visuals. Which, you know what, actually, very sneaky tactic.
That doesn't sound too terrible of an idea. Wait a minute.
No, I'm not sure what to think of that, but it's definitely something. There's definitely a level of thought that went into that, whether for good or bad.
Accepted, Butterman. This person is a witch, a really good one.
I mean, I already accepted that before, but yes. Well, Bon is still talking about the pose, by the way. But yes, in both cases, this is true. How'd they get the top half of that animated model when it was impossible until GC released? If I had to guess, I would say that I would say there were 2 poses they're separately taken 2 poses, and then like in the editing like layered one over the other and cropped out certain parts, or potentially actually, because these are screenshots. No, they're not. Sorry, not screenshots. It's animated poses. I was gonna say you could do that in Pharaoh Packer like more accurately, but yeah, if you have them like lined up in a frame perfect manner, you can actually get away with that. That's my guess. But either way, movie magic is still magic, so why not? I mean, that's that, or witchcraft in this case, should I say? Fanfiction. Now there's let the girl live her life. I continue writing my fanfiction. Yeah, you have several stories in the making, both fanfiction and otherwise.
Yeah. I see what's what? Writing fanfiction.
Yeah. I have very dedicated readers for your information.
Actually, no, that checks.
My fanfiction got 17 kudos on AO3.
Actually, that checks out. AO3 is pretty based.
Honestly, yeah. Like I was on AO3 for like 2 weeks, and I got a lot of positivity from what I did.
Girl, open yourself a Patreon. Make that cash money.
Oh, there we go. 10 views recently. 10. Okay. You know what? I'll tell you what. That means you're not on AO3, because I got more than 10 views on AO3 in the first couple of weeks. So find a different platform, you'll get more exposure. You know what I'll say about that, as much as like the whole 10 views thing is obviously like the joke is, is not like that much at all. However, I do like that it's done in this particular way, because one thing that used to bother me a lot when I saw this when I saw this in media is that they would like give some like very huge metric or something, and meanwhile there was me in like my first like early years of of having a channel before the truth about Travis happened, and I'd been stuck at like double digits for 4 years, and I was like, what the heck? You're saying that 20,000 is low? What do you mean? Like, and that persisted up until, ironic enough, AFMAL with Ultra Nova, where of course, because because AFMAL had like 1 million subscribers at the time, or maybe 2 million. I forgot exactly how many by 2017. It was something between 2 and 4 million, I think. Either way, no, 4 million was later because that was 2019. That was when 2018 was when I met Shiny and crew. Yeah, never mind. Somewhere in the millions. So Nashmera in the show like lowballed it, saying like, "Oh, I have a realistic number. I have 1,000 subscribers," and I was like, And then it's weird, like looking back at that now, like having like achieved 1,000 subscribers and realizing that Nashmera never actually got to that particular goal. So it's like a very interesting reversal. But I remember that at the time, for the average person watching this, that doesn't make content, they're going to see that, and like, as much as you can lowball that as possible, the better. Anyway, Tiffany, could you
study the math during lunch? I can't fail another test.
By the way, Ghost has been talking about like the teacher just observing them in the background. I too thought about the special brownies. Actually, I was give him the Blaine from Pokemon Bridged voice. That was my plan. But also, can we talk about the boy that has just been staring at the back of Rose's head this entire time, saying nothing?
Yeah, it seems like he's just there to fill the space and not serve an actual purpose.
Yeah, but the weird thing is that the space still feels empty. This is why they normally go with like 4 people on the screen, so that so that you can actually maybe rotate him around, having talked to another person, or I don't know, just be looking forward in some particular way, or alternatively, actually have Rose and the friend in the corner, away from the teacher, rather than in the front, the front 2 rows. But yeah. Oh, hello, Midnight Unknown. Welcome back.
I just sent fun of fish emojis in Discord chat.
Okay.
Sorry, I got distracted.
All right. Oh, hey, witchcraft!
Called the Witch of Math? Sure, I'm called the Witch of Math for a reason.
I am called the Witch of Math. What's going on here? Well, someone is called the Witch of Math, obviously.
What's going on here is that I found a small gacha channel receiving a disproportionate amount of homophobic comments, and now we're here watching the videos because I can't stand for that. We're gonna give them some actual criticism instead of telling them to delete the video.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't think I have ever told a single person to delete a video on Gacha Review. Some of the guests have a couple of times, but, other than that, it's never happened.
By who?
Anyways.
People.
What people?
The people.
The people who call me the witch, yes. They're here in this room right now. Can you not see them?
It feels like this girl is colluding with the Illuminati.
I see them quite clearly.
Maybe like
my favorite is Phyllis.
Like
Phyllis is right behind you.
I think the butt of the joke that wasn't established is that nobody calls her the Witch of Math, and that's.
Oh yeah, no, she's propping herself up and giving herself a nickname. I understand that. It's just the way that the character's expression right now just seems like she is psychotic.
Oh, she's colluding with forces above our comprehension.
Yeah. They all call me the Witch of Math. Isn't that right, Phyllis? Phyllis, you're so funny. Isn't she a riot? Does the witch mention count as Oracle? You were talking about the creator, not the character, so half Oracle.
Half Oracle.
Yeah. Yeah, just an aura.
The people.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'll say this as well about this interaction. We actually are getting a sense of their connection as friends. Because with Gacha videos, you either have to have the character be a new student and then befriend a person who they don't quite know yet, so that's why we don't get that, or we have something like this where we actually see like what kind of chemistry they actually have together. This one of the things that one of the only positives I had about the Green Knight actually was that Tomi had a real bromance going with his bros.
I do like that they're establishing a real connection. I just wish the two dude characters in this room would at least move.
This is really reminding me of Running With You. Because in Running With You, do you remember how Jackson and Brad were talking about Noah, and you could see him in the corner of the shot?
Oh, yes, I remember the Weeping Angel background characters.
Yeah, but normally they're not the subject of the conversation. Noah's just there going like, and meanwhile, I was like, I see you to the right of the screen.
I think it wouldn't be a problem for these characters to be standing as still as they are if there were more than 4 people on screen right now.
And there was more than one conversation ongoing, potentially. Like if there's a homeroom and everyone was talking amongst themselves. But no, they're being observed on both sides currently.
Yes, we have Basketball Twink and Chuck Norris just watching the girls have their conversation. Like, I'm starting to believe the Illuminati thing more and more. Right. Do you want my help or not? Wingardium Leviosa.
Sure, Witch of Math.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, the teacher stood up. Yeah.
The teacher blinked.
Oh, okay, we're out of there, I guess. All right, never mind. I thought we were gonna get like a little bit of line from the teacher or something, but okay, never mind. Oh, sure. All right.
I forgot my lunch.
Callback. That was not a random point because we did see that she ran out without her delicious looking bento box. Yeah. I did to adopt the boy next to Rose. He's very adorable. Just look at those big eyes, amplified by the glasses. But yes, as we have Karen, then Hanazono, an anime girl with very giant eyes, who's both scary and cute. That seems familiar. Karen Hanazono. Nope, never mind. It wasn't familiar. I was thinking of something else. I was like, who is this person? Anyway.
Do you have money for school lunch?
This is how we meet the bullies. I'm kidding.
No.
Maybe we noticed that teacher looked creepy and way too happy to hear the girls' conversation. I think the teacher was too spaced out to really acknowledge they were having a conversation. It was just be like, sandwiches. Like, I don't know.
Chuck Norris on ketamine.
Mr. Krabs' stash. Anyways. No.
Well, you can have half of my sandwich today.
I just remembered this video is called "In Love with My Best Friend," which naturally means that I see now why the chemistry between them is so important. But I'm now guessing, is this going to be like the inciting incident or something, where it's just like you can share my sandwich. The fact you've been waiting to give me your sandwich, my heart is racing. Another Afmao reference, by the way, that I can think of is Afmao's storytime video of the two yanderes competing for Sky D Minington, and how one of them how Barnita gave him a chicken sandwich, and he just went, "Oh yeah, the fact that you went to the fact that you the fact you went to give me your chicken sandwich."
I would like to thank Bon the same pleasure after I sneezed into the microphone.
Oh right, yeah, fair enough then.
You can have half of my sandwich today.
I knew it. This was gonna be the fact that it's the sandwich. It's always the sandwich.
It's always the sandwich. True love boils down to the sandwich.
This is what I miss out on as a vegetarian. Chicken sandwiches, apparently an aphrodisiac.
Really? Why not? Also, Midnight Unknown. That is so unrealistic. If I had no food, my friends would be like, "Oh well, that sucks, but you ain't touching my food." And apparently, Bon agrees.
Bon would be the friend saying that. So yeah, you're both in agreement on that matter.
Oh, good. But
well, okay.
I'm guessing
was that the bad boy from earlier? Wait a second. Oh, it was. It was the guy who was waiting outside.
Like, I'm guessing he plays a role in this story, and that's why him appearing every so often is, oh, that green screen. Oh, that green screen. Oh, that green screen. Look at his outlines.
I definitely can see them. Yep.
My eyes, they bleed.
Speaking of eyes, Bond pointed out the heterochromia as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing he's an important character for later, and that's why he keeps appearing so often.
Yeah. I actually really love the way that this is put together. Because he's a bad boy. No, but he also but as always is put together, by the way, of because we had the line earlier of the mother saying that, you know, she forgot her lunch. That could have been a throwaway moment, but it wasn't, because it came back into this and has now become part of the inciting incident behind, I guess the immediate falling in love. Yeah. And also we saw the guy outside the school for a while.
And now he's here.
Exactly. And he might be a double build-up, depending on the reaction to... Oh, there we go. Okay, I thought so. The best friend is now blushing at her, and she's clocked the reaction. Which, yes, based on my Lauren Eloise viewership experience, that is a very lesbian moment to happen. So, you know, this is true to life.
Hey, we gotta get to history. We got to get to history.
Love interest now. Love obstacle.
Right. Also, Bond is like visual storytelling. We can't ignore that. Yeah. Honestly, this has been very put together, except for the lack of other characters on screen doing much of anything except for walking and staring.
Yeah, normally I would jot that down to the lack of character slots in Gacha Life and the lack of character exports to help you make new ones. However, since we don't have such a large cast of characters as of right now, that doesn't seem to be an issue for the time being.
Also,
we'll see. We're about a third of the way into the video, so maybe we'll just get a bunch of characters now. But I don't know. Maybe history class is where everyone can get exciting.
Like, Ghost Kitty is like, you know what that means? To the redesigning chamber. Honestly, I'm afraid. I'm afraid for that bad boy.
Mm-hmm. No, we just get popular from Wicked playing.
In that case,
but in a minor key.
Also, Bon has in that case the resolution might be camera angles so that the closer proximity doesn't require a lot of extras nearby.
That's certainly a resolution. I will say that, you know, even with like the limited gacha slots, given the list of characters, we probably would be able to have a few extras here or there. regardless of that. But yes, camera angles particularly. And I did, say that there is a way to do that without having to zoom and enhance in post.
Also,
But that being said, I think that's only for Gacha Club. I just remembered that you couldn't resize the backgrounds in Gacha Life, I don't think, so I don't know. Also, yes, hi Alpha Sisters. Welcome. You were supposed to be today's subject of review, but we changed our plans. But you can see why. Anyway, let's go so we have time to stand and talk. Let's go if you don't run to the next lesson, which honors you won't make it in time. I mean, that's definitely the case in some places, depending on like the size of the school and how far away the lesson actually is as well. But yeah, this also used to really annoy me about my secondary school, because there would be people who would stand around and talk and everyone else was trying to squeeze past them because we had very narrow hallways. So it was like, why are you like, especially on the stairs? That's what really bothered me, was people who stood and talked on the stairs while everyone was trying to use them. I mean, I don't exactly, like I occupy a fair amount of space. So, and that was still true in secondary school. So
I'll be right back in a hot second.
Oh, okay.
I have to use the gay room.
Okay, fair enough. I think Rose wants to go there with the best friend, but we'll see that later. I'm assuming this is a flashback now, based on the the similarity between the characters. So, okay. Oh, is this meant to be a mirror because she's got 2 toys, so it's going to give her one, so she's once again sharing half of something. Makes more sense than like ripping the teddy bear in half, because that you can't visually do that in Gacha. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think we had so many middle loiterers because there was only room for people to go up or down. It's like there was no middle portion. It was just like one. It was just 2 lines basically. But yeah, aside from that, go to the game. Oh no! Oh wait a minute! No, it was that's the queer room, isn't it? She's about to get tortured. I just remembered. Oh no! Ghosty, come back! Okay, the way that she like did not turn around just seems like she just went, "You want to be Mr. Honey or Captain Duck?" I'd be like, ah! Like, for like a second, then I would be fine with it. But like, my goodness. Huh? To play. By the way, Mr. Honey and Captain Duck sounds like a great kids' TV show. Who are you? I'm Tiffany, and you seem sad, so... Which one do you choose? Honestly, this was also me. Like as a child, if I ever saw a fellow child crying or like sad and alone or something, and I had a toy to spare, I would just go up. I would say sometimes that's my way of introducing myself, actually, because they legitimately, when I was 2, the only interaction that I ever had with my brother's biological sister when we were adopting him was that I went up to her because like we were both in the waiting room. She was on the other side, and I just straight up went straight over to her and just I had 2 Thomas the Tank Engine trains. I had Gordon and James, and I said like which ones they were. This is Gordon, this is James, and I don't think she really played with them until it's just held one of them basically. But that was it, and that moment was recaptured. So yeah, again, surprisingly relatable in this video, except now I'm going for the best friend rather than the main character. But anyway, you have to play no playing. There's no debating. The only choice you have is selection. To be fair, that was also me as a child. I was like, it was like, I'm going to cheer you up now. We are going to play together, and whether you like it or not. Sometimes it'd be like, I don't want to, so it'll be like, oh well, whatever. But most of the time, this is like a generally accepted thing. So I get it. I get it. Chaotic child. Once he's a child crying. Whoops, he's pre-sending it. What? I don't have to deal with it because I was a weird kid who was seizing by literally everyone and everything. I also I also had a somewhat I hesitate to call it an emo phase when I was like really, really young, like maybe shortly after the two train incidents, unrelated, of course. But yeah, for some reason I was like, well, everyone's always telling me to be happy, so I choose to be sad for no reason. And then I was like, oh, this is actually really depressing. So yeah, I'm gonna be happy again. But yeah, that but apart from that situation, yeah, most of the time it was just like, yeah, I'm making sure no one's crying. Being angry or something, I was like fine with, but then crying was where I was like, nope, no, we're solving this right now. Is it Captain Duck? I just handed the bear over and said, it's a family name. It's confusing. Oh, she's blushing already. Interesting. But I mean, I guess that does, kind of track based on, the willingness to share being her apparent love language. So, all right. My name is Rose. I'm Tiffany again, but some call me Queen Imagination and all the people I imagine, including Phyllis! Callbacks! Let's go! Oh my goodness. All those people in the comments are stupid. This is an amazing show. Like, it's so simple, but it's also what makes it great at the same time. I love Slice of Life. Anyways, what? Captain Duck. Sorry. Captain Duck. Space pirates are coming on the ship. The one thing I would potentially have done if this was made like sometime later in the creator's creative process is potentially like fade to what they see, because it's also more interesting for the audience. But this still works. Them just imagining this kind of thing and then us not seeing literally anything that's going on from their perspective. Maybe I would have made the music a little bit different, possibly to match. But again, that's depending on how much you want to really like lean into it rather than, it works either way. Oh, fix my story. Okay, should we do the full version? Okay. Finish up on Twist Return. Mom told me one time I made a friend by walking up to a crying child, giving them a hard time, and said, "Stop crying, you're hurting my ears," and it worked. Oh. Well, fair enough. That definitely needs to be a backstory of a character at some point. Oh no! Get the blasters! Yes, sir! Let me help you! I mean, if you're the captain, you're giving the orders, but yeah, fair enough. Should I tell her? Okay, maybe there would have given like a bit more of a montage of her feelings over time, potentially, but again, as someone who also skipped over a montage for their first Gacha episode, I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, this stuff. I can see why. Oh, okay. The extras interact. Okay, then. All right, was not expecting that. Thinking about your crush? Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. Yeah, no one ever sees anyone in this school. We're just all kind of here. It's fine. If you like her, you should tell her. Everyone always says this. Everyone is always like, if you like the person, you should tell them. Mentally speaking, it's not always that easy. It should be, but trust me, I've been here as well. I think that's why I like Slice of Life so much, because like it has the most relatable situations. Not that that's necessary for every storytelling, but when it works, and here, it's working. It's just doing more than standing jump scare. Oh, good grief. But what if she doesn't like me? Yeah, see, this is the thing. because it's always about, you don't want to, destroy what you have with the person currently. If there's a risk of losing what you've built up to, then that can sometimes be more devastating. That's where a lot of fear of rejection comes from in the first place. A lot of the time, I know for LGBTQ plus people, there's also a risk that the person they think might be homophobic, and then treat them differently because of that extra layer as well. I would probably think that most of the time, if you're best friends with a person, usually they're not going to be. You would have picked them not for their homophobia if they had any. But it can sometimes be a case of like other crushes. I know that Aiden has told me that some of his, I guess, superficial crush, not like intense ones, but I've been on guys that definitely would look down on him if they knew the truth, so to speak. Like he's talked about that on stream before, so I'm not revealing like private information or anything. But yeah, like either way, honestly, in the past with me, I remember that one girl that I had a crush on for several years actually. The reason that I didn't say anything at first was because sometime in the past, she actually for some reason, when we were just in rehearsal together for the first play we were involved in, at one point we were decently close friends before this point, but at some point she just started avoiding me for seemingly no reason. Whenever I tried to talk to her about that, and she actually stopped one time, she said, "Stop stalking me." And I was like, "What do you mean? I haven't done anything different to how we used to interact before." And I was really confused by that. And then about a year later, when we happened to, it was actually my homeroom teacher, in fact, who was staying with us because it was before a carol concert at a church, and the two of us were the only ones who didn't get picked up for reasons that I can't remember exactly. But I was like, I mean, might as well just stay around. There's no point having to go back and return. Makes sense. So it was the three of us essentially, and I used that chance to, just basically start up a conversation. And because there was only one garden around, she couldn't exactly leave or anything. So but then she wasn't trapped by that because she just started talking as if it was completely normal. And from that point onwards, we acted completely normal with each other, which is a relief because we shared a friendship group. So it's kind of like very awkward as well, because by complete coincidence, this was like shortly after her friends started hanging out with me. So it was a minefield basically, but like, my goodness. So yeah. With that in mind, it was like I was like, okay, wow, we've actually got something going, But if I say anything now, she's gonna go back to avoiding me, and there'll be no hope again. Like, I got lucky, in this situation. She's gonna make sure that never happens again if there's any if there's any issue. And it was only actually because it was only because it's only because like one of my classmates actually, who we were on an expedition for this award they give out to the school. Basically, it's a whole thing in the UK. Part of it involves an expedition, and so there were several schoolmates, that some of us sharing tents with each other. She was sharing a tent with the girl that was in my class. She was a different year group to me. She was 1 year younger, but yeah. This girl in my class, and then I was talking to the girl in my class, just in general. I think I made some sort of remark about some weird thing that she did, and then the girl in my class went, "Yeah, that's because she likes you." I was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Yeah, she likes you." I was like, "Well, what gives you that impression?" And then she was talking about "Oh, well, those things that she does, basically. Yeah, she doesn't do that around anyone else. She's incredibly serious around other people except for you." Now, of course, because I haven't seen her when I'm not around, obviously, so I didn't know the difference. But then at one point was I looked over Bafar looking very serious. Then I went up to her. Then suddenly that kicked in. I was like, "Oh, okay, I can sort of see what's going on here." And yet, despite that, I still made sure that she was the one to confess her feelings first. At one point when we started, when she let loose that she had a crush, I knew it was me by this point, but I had to be absolutely sure. So I basically for a while, like again, we shared a friendship group. So there's like a whole thing. Oh yeah, tell us who your crush is. Basically, she never would relent. So it was like, oh yeah, tell us who you have a crush on. Like basically, general friendcosity. Ironic that we met via the theater, and I used the theater to my advantage in this situation. And yeah, eventually on Skype was when she finally confessed that to me specifically, and then I confirmed, okay, I also like you. And then I think we didn't date for like a year later because her mum wouldn't allow her or something like that. But yeah, we did date for a while after that. So eventually, after like 3 years of back and forth and trying to like navigate this minefield of sorts in a very unique situation, just to make sure that we wouldn't like end up like avoiding each other before anything else happened, I made sure that the status quo was remained. Stick to the status quo. Yeah, that was it. My goodness, yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, they could played hard to get, but not really. It's like I had to in that situation. Like honestly, after that, the crush that I had after that, after we eventually broke up, and we didn't go our separate ways. We still had theater together as well, in fact. But whatever. Eventually after that, like the crush that I had ever since then, I eventually was like, okay, give it some time. I'll build up a connection of sorts, but then I will say something. So I've ironically gotten a lot better at confessing my crushes ever since those years, because I'm like, I'm not putting myself through that again. So yeah, there you go. And that right there is real life character growth. Oh my goodness. My school people dating is so risky. We have this one girl who goes around catfishing people just for fun. Anyway, we realize it's because all the accounts were under the same email. Well, yeah, that's a pretty major oversight. That's fair. But also, you know what? You know what would make for a good gacha show. I'll say that much. Anyway, something akin to Gossip Girl, except for the person is the subject of the gossip, not the person divulging it. Anyway, still secret entity basically. But yeah, the whole is talking here. Mostly like you actually hate people say that. Yeah, I do in fact hate that as well. It's yeah. I don't want that to be come across as the reason or anything, I've never been the person to be like, oh, I'd be mean to somebody that I've liked in order to try to mask that. Because if anything, I don't want to mask a crush that I have. I want to, I want to actually, be close to them, have good memories, shock horror. My first ever crush was when I was 7, and specifically. Like, I don't remember. I think it was like after I managed to find a way. I think I managed to sit next to her, but I think it was by pure luck, basically. So the seating plan was dictated by the teacher. Like our names were on the desk or something, and like I just happened to be there. So it was like, I mean, again, perfect chance to strike up a conversation. Asked to play during recess. Eventually, ended up managing to play penguins with her because we talked about penguins in class. To that, and so we actually played penguins and actually ended up raising a baby penguin together in the game. It was like, well, there you go. I managed to live the married life of my first crush. Get this as well. Her best friend was my greatest rival at the time. Like, she never seemed to like me and vice versa. Like, we never got on. And also, it seemed like I think the two of us were the pair of us were also the fastest in the year at the time. Back when I cared about such things, we also had the same birthday. We were born on the same day. The stars aligned. So we had to share the day of our birth. Which of course meant that whenever there was like some event, according to birthday celebrations, as was the case for a lot in I think it was second grade at the time. Yeah, second grade. Yeah, that was also shared between us. Like, my goodness, that was, yeah. I still remember that. It's like the quintessential, if you want to be my lover, I gotta go with my friends. But never managed to grace that gap. Her name was Grace. I gotta go to bed. Fair enough. I was just stalling for time, essentially, hoping that Gozu would come back from the equivalent of the queer room, but apparently there's floodwater in the basement, so I don't know if Ghosty is in fact returning. I was stalling for an event that may never come to pass. I don't know. But yes, thanks for stopping by either way. Also, a lot of the my previous school was so hands-on, a lot more physically intimate in front of me, and I'm really put off by it. I don't know why originally. Now I do. If it's intimate, I mean snuggling, kissing, hand-holding, etc. And it's going to fall on making out. Did you happen to be a theater kid? Because let me tell you, aside from the actual theater crush that I mentioned before, there was a lot of stuff happens. A lot of stuff happens at drama club that stays at drama club. Okay. Taking a tangent. I also enjoyed that one, but I guess if Ghosty is not coming back, then we probably should, I guess, proceed with this. So yeah, let's go. You never know unless you try. Again, very generic, doesn't take into account the minefield in a person's mind, especially depending on how young you are, but we've talked about that already, so again, continuing. I liked someone. The way that he says that, I liked someone, there's a chance he doesn't like them anymore, or they got rejected, but also the way this is said kind of implies they died. I liked someone before the accident. What happened? I didn't tell her. And now I never will. Oh, now she's a boyfriend. Okay. Much better. She's alive. Okay. Fair. All right. Good. I guess it's funny you mentioned that. Of course they were. Some stereotypes are based on truth. Let's just put it that way. I'll never know if he would have worked out. Would have. Not would have, but yeah. Oh. And also, there's a bit of a ticking clock depending on whether or not the best friend is going to go after the bad boy. Now, there are two ways this can go. We can either get to a confession moment, or because we've seen the bad boy a couple of times, we now might get the next time you might see the best friend, it could well be when she has already confessed to the bad boy and they are now dating, and she missed that chance. That could be because last month I watched A Very Neighborhood Spider-Man, and that was the plot of that series with Peter's crush in that one, or a girl named Pearl, who ended up dating somebody named Lonnie. This is not spoilers, by the way. It's like episode 1 this happened. So, if anyone still wants to see it on Disney Plus, go right ahead. A lot more happens than just that. Yeah. And it's definitely a cliche, but it's one that's like, okay, there's something here, especially how Peter and Lonnie became friends as well, despite that. It's actually, it's love drama that makes sense. If you get there too late, then the love drama, it has a reason to be. Honestly, maybe that's where a lot of love triangles sort of fail, potentially, because a lot of them are introducing like another love interest for the main character that is meant to get in the way of the one that is already meant to be, and that's why it's so annoying. But hey, actually, if you think about it, maybe a love triangle could also be the main character being the one on the side. That could actually make that a bearable concept. And I never thought I would say that. There you go. It was good enough to make with me. I played lots of sports, was really good at maths, got a main role in a play. They couldn't have a jock, a nerd, or a drama kid. I was a well-rounded person. And you know what? You're Troy Bolton. That's what you were. You're Troy Bolton. I finished my reason with the bad boy, and I love him. I just named him. I dubbed the Harry. That's a good point. We haven't found out. I don't think we know the best friend's name either, actually. Unless it's in the credits some. Wait, what credits? It's not voice acted. Never mind. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. That's what Aiden would have done if he were here. The same way that everyone else quotes Wings to Aiden, Aiden likes to quote give it a shot. Anyway, thanks. You gonna say your name? There we go. Thank you, man. Oh my goodness! I was just talking about Peter Parker. No! This is witchcraft. This right here is witchcraft. All right, well, my name is Parker. Okie dokie. That counts. That definitely counts. Oh boy. Nice to meet you, Parker. I'm Rose. Now I got to leave a note for a girl. I must leave a note for a girl. Then she's always so dramatic. Actually, she's the theater kid. I am late for school. I will leave a note for a girl. Away.
She's a theater kid. No wonder she's gay.
Yeah, there's also that. Oh my goodness.
Listen, girlie, your fashion sense might be a little off, but you've got a flair to you.
Yeah, like it's a little off for school dress codes in general. It's okay despite other than that, but yeah. Good luck. Wait, is this a music video now? I'm gonna get copyrighted, aren't I? Okay. When I was in love with my best friend and I couldn't tell her before. And so I decided to write her a letter and leave it inside her locker door. I don't know. I don't know this song. I'm just guessing.
A note for Rose? She has really terrible handwriting, so I could recognize instantly.
Which, yeah, honestly,
she even has to squint to read it, so that might actually be canon.
I can always recognize my best friend's terrible handwriting. Yeah.
Meet me on the road for 3:30. What is this? Yandere Simulator?
I guess 3:30 is when a lot of school days end, incidentally, so they're gonna have to get out there very quickly. Oh, it's in 10 minutes. Well, good thing you checked your locker before leaving school. Otherwise, she would have really had a breakdown over that. It's like, what does that mean?
What could she want?
I remember that my dad told me about this novel by Thomas Hardy. I don't remember the name of it, but he told me that the plot was that that these two people fell in love, and they said that one that was indecisive, and so he said, I'm gonna think about this, and I will let you know. I will let you know via a letter through your door before I leave. If I've accepted. So, and if there was no response, then there was no response, basically. And so what happens is apparently the room itself where the person is staying like has a rug, so the letter goes underneath the rug, so that they both then think that the other person didn't want them. So apparently there's like a lot of stuff that happens in their life, and they are reuniting later on or something. It's like, oh, if only we found out about the rug or something. I don't know what it's called.
Imagine you slip a letter into a girl's locker and then it slips under her schoolbook.
Essentially, yeah. And then she only finds it like at the end of the year because it's like the last page is like you're going through like all the activities or something, like in order.
And by that time, she already has a boyfriend.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, because you thought you wouldn't. Yeah, of course. Essentially, it was that idea. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds miserable.
Yeah. To be fair to Thomas Hardy, I'm pretty sure that was, a thing before that was, before the rise of contrived romance plots outside of Shakespeare.
What could she want?
Yeah, and also now I think about it, she has my phone number, I assume. Why is she write a letter?
Why is there not a question mark at the end of this statement?
She just wrote a letter. She just wrote a letter. She just wrote a letter. It could have been a text. Also, this is probably the new bad boy. Ghost Kitty wanted him to be less of a red and black stereotype. I didn't realize that meant literally take away all the black and one portion of red, but there you go. New bad boy, I suppose.
This doesn't quite look like a bad boy. He looks like a librarian.
No, you don't have to look like a bad boy to be a bad boy. It's all about the mindset.
Like, I suppose.
Oh my goodness. Oh, also, hi KW. You popped in on a good one for once. Mm-hmm.
She's okay.
Yeah.
We've had several instances of witchcraft in this.
Okay, this is the second time that the best friend has appeared behind Rose and Rose has not turned around. This just means like the way they greet each other.
Rose,
like Lawrence is greeting each other. Hi. Why'd you just do a bad boy? Because I was trying to prove a point, you see. I don't look like a bad boy, but I can certainly act like one. Ugh.
And then there's Zoic, who looks like a bad boy, but it's a good boy.
Yes, it's also voiced by me, so there you go.
I wanted to submit that stereotype so badly that I manufactured a character around it.
Mm-hmm. Let me in for a few minutes. Okay, fine. I guess I will. Whatever. Oh wait, that's the wrong button. 1 second.
Also, sorry, I had to leave for a second. My house is really wet.
No, yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard what happened. Yeah, you went to the gay room and things got wet. Right. There you are. There you are, KW. Found you finally. All right. There it is. So we can Psycho never be a bad boy in my eyes. What gave that away? Was it me talking about how even as a child I made sure that people that like fellow children weren't crying by offering them toys temporarily? Was that what gave it away? Oh my goodness. Anyway.
Hey.
Hey. KW.
Where do I begin, Jacob? Where do I begin?
I don't know. Where do you begin? That was like unrelated to you being there.
KW, inherit this voice line from me.
I just come in to pop in to say hi, to see what's up or whatever. And then Jacob just started being like, oh, I'm such a bad boy. I'm so evil and stuff.
That was unrelated to you being there.
I know that.
I don't think I even saw your message at that point.
It's KW, now that you're here, you're trapped, and you're contractually obligated to voice a character. Now, which one of these lesbians do you want?
Oh my!
Oh no, don't tell me you romance cursed her again.
Oh my god!
No, if anything, this is just a case of entrapment. Get over here.
Sadly, I have to go. I just want to be here for a second because I have to actually go somewhere tonight.
Fair enough, then. All right, then.
I would have joined sooner, but I have to do some stuff as well, so until then.
Okay, fair enough. Also, part of the Chuckles doll's been requested, so before you go, why do girls like them bad? I don't know, but it's true. Take it from the bad if they can get enough of you. If you can, following me home after school. I thought it fights over me. I don't know what to do because I'm bad. I'm a certified bad boy.
Bakugo.
I was singing Danny Gonzalez track. Oh no.
Bakugo, I didn't want to see your Baku balls. Get out of here.
Anyways, bye-bye.
Alright, bye-bye. I'm a bad boy. Yes, I've always been bad. I'm a bad boy. And I dress it all Wait, no, I've got nothing green. Never mind, cut. Okay.
That's another bingo for Puppet Show, isn't it fun?
Yeah, probably.
Why did you want to meet up here? Listen, the KW hasn't left the stream yet.
You see, I've been watching a lot of anime, and this is what everyone does to confess to their crushes, so I therefore must also do the same.
There isn't a cherry tree on school campus, so this will have to do.
A lot of them just do meet up by the rooftop. Like, I've seen plenty of romance anime that either start on a rooftop scene or will build up to it in the first episode. Anyway.
Well,
That's where she sings to her.
Introducing love ballad between girl and girl.
I did in fact confess to a girl one time writing a song to her. Another theater crush, in fact. Do I have a type?
Yes, you do.
Anyway, what's going on? Hello? Yes?
You're just now realizing your type?
Well, I mean, I've been saying for years that I don't have a type, more referring to physical type, but I guess into theater is a personality type. There you go.
What is going on? I have something important to tell you.
Rose. I guess you've already seen.
I've thought about this for years. By that facial expression alone, I can tell this is only going to end in disaster.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is only episode 1, so the only way, so this could only ever end up being a case of, like, you know, the rest of the show is them dating, or
the rest of the show is them equally pining after each other.
Yeah, after a rejection that was, you know, regretted. I will say, if anyone wants to see a show where the character confesses in the first episode and they date for the rest of them, check out Puppy Love. Anyway. Oh, well, time to go to class. It's the end of the day, I think.
It is the end of the day. They're just milling about on the rooftop.
The janitor's like, I'm locking up. Here I go. Jingle jangle, keys clicking.
I have to say this before it's too late, Tiffany.
What do you mean? It's never too late. No, I mean literally before it's too late. We're gonna be stuck on the roof if I don't say it in the next 10 minutes. God, this reminds me so much of Moed and Malik, not only because this is a similar scene I did with like a rooftop with them, not only because there's also a character wearing pink, but also because like this is how like I would have them like awkwardly stare at each other with when I didn't do as many camera angles in the show. This really has taken me back. This it's probably enough that it is a keyframed Gacha life series of someone's first rodeo. Yeah.
I like you, Tiffany.
Well, what's that? It's my own love life. It's other people. That is also quite common, to be fair. But yes.
I like you, Tiffany.
I guess she's surprised, as if, like, was she not already expecting that response, given what she was about to say? I don't know. It kind of felt like she was prepared for that. Like, Tiffany kind of thought about that. But, yeah. All right. Fair enough. Leave a like for part 2. Yeah. Part 2 is, of course, already out, but, you know, leave likes anyway. I'm going to have a mission statement before everyone, you know, like, filters away because because people tune off when the final thought starts. Yeah. Link is in the description of this video. You know, leave likes even though part 2 is out. And, you know, also subscribe to the channel, please. You know what? Mission statement here. This channel at the start of this episode had 8 subscribers. Let's see if we can double that number. Let's get this channel to 16 subscribers. See if we can do that. Because I thought that would be a great surprise for someone who's been overwhelmed with hate to suddenly have a doubled sub count when they wake up in the morning.
Like, if anything, this creator
also give likes, but yeah.
Like, if anything, this creator has already shown a lot of promise. Like, they clearly went into this knowing they wanted to craft a story, already knowing what kind of story they wanted to craft, and they had good intentions.
The title does say gay love story as well, so they also they definitely, yeah.
Like, either A, they knew what type of hate they would be getting by posting gay love story, and that's why they haven't hid the comments, or B, they are young and they don't know how to hide the comments.
Well, I mean, see, that's the thing, because if they don't know how to hide the comments or delete them, then that raises the question as to why episode 2 is the one that got all of the hate comments compared to this one.
Yeah, that's my question too.
I mean, I don't know, maybe something horrendously awful happens in episode 2 and everyone just kind of got lost from the immersion. But I sincerely doubt that, because no other gacha series that has had a fall off like the one I described hypothetically has ever received comments of that nature to that degree. So I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, but as for the actual episode, yes, you're right. Just definitely, feels very much planned, actually. Like almost, I feel like possibly might have even been scripted. And if it wasn't, that just means that the person has incredible memory. Either way, like it feels like, I mean, I don't think there were many grammar mistakes either, actually. So yeah, this could have been a scripted video of some kind. And also one and also one from again, it's hard to say that the creators experienced in keyframing or not, or just happened to pretty much almost nail it, give or take a couple of chroma key outlines here and there for one of the characters. So I mean it's of course it could definitely benefit, like we said, from some other added extras and potentially some camera angles to go that extra step beyond what it is currently. But yeah, as a start of a series, it is definitely much more solid.
Distance.
Exactly. Yeah, you can go the distance. Absolutely. Like, to be honest, I don't think I've seen I've seen such a such like a great like impulse of a start. Well, it's not one that stuck in my mind since Fallen Angels, actually, because as much as we harp about Fallen Angels in the early days, it definitely
has a good start.
Yeah, like as far as production goes,
like
Aiden set the bar high, because also try to compare it to Music Gold, which was on its second season by that point. So already a higher bar than you probably should when you're starting, compared to but he didn't quite like achieve that goal in most people's eyes, and that's why it got constantly compared to Music Girl in the early days. But he definitely, if you come with season 1 Music Girl, oh boy, night and day. And that was before I think he even worked out about multiple layers, and even in some cases green screening, because actually he said before some of those scenes were done before he even knew how to do that.
Honestly, the story so far is pretty adorable.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, these
characters are likable, but it's clear that this creator does not know how to deal with extras very well.
Yeah, like the story itself is a very simple slice of life, and that works to its advantage. A lot of people think that the more complex the story gets, the better it is. That really depends on the story that you're telling. If you're telling a slice of life, keep it simple and relatable, because I mean, like I said here, as a non-gay person, the fact that I relate to so many different things in this video already shows the universality of these ideas. And also because Lord has talked about them already, so I know how the specific ones relate to lesbians as well from that experience as well. But yeah, also we talked about this before, but also the visual storytelling was an aspect that could have gone unnoticed but didn't, because we had moments of actual pausing, so we didn't fall into the Fallen Angels trap actually of having every moment being filled by dialogue, because silence would be too deafening. The music was vague enough that it could apply to multiple situations, but at least it matched in tone compared to what was going on. So that was also a quite good aspect. I'm glad that I hope none of it was copyrighted. I don't think it was. It doesn't sound like it was, but you never know these days. So here's to hoping. But yeah, if I saw this for the first time, I definitely would have, which I just did right now. I'd definitely be like, yeah, part 2 sounds like an amazing time. So yeah, I can definitely say that I definitely say this channel was not worthy of the harassment based on this video. Again, it was all on the second one, so we'll return to this at some point and see what that one was like. But I sincerely doubt from here, unless there was like the biggest fall off in Gacha history, that the hate was warranted. So again, make sure that each of you that are watching this video, especially the VOD watchers, because not everyone is here today, make sure you go and subscribe to the person. It's the link in the description to the original video. Give the video a like, and you know what? Actually, potentially, if you want to do the if you want to go the extra mile, if you want to do a little bit of good-natured trolling to the commenters, the comment I said here before about wow homophobia. If you like, go to episode 2 and just reply to each of the comments, wow homophobia. Don't say anything else. We're not witch hunting, but just for the meme, just say wow homophobia and then nothing else.
Oh, this is adorable. Roxanne Rabbit calls her subscribers the burrow.
Yeah, makes sense. The name Roxanne Rabbit, I think, was from Willy's Wonderland, but yes, definitely playing into the aesthetic. Also, as far as speaking of Roxanne Rabbit, by the way, no extra ears. The ears are covered.
Woo!
My goodness, this really is my kind of gacha tuber, honestly. Yeah, I just describe myself now. Now I've watched the video, I'm like, yeah, I absolutely will be doing that. But yeah, before we all head off to express our support for Roxanne Rabbit in this particular way, be sure to leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.
Farewell.